YouTube. As I see, I'm not even sure many of you can come here, as it might be interesting. It might happen. I'll wait until a few of you check in. There we go. Peace of the East, West, and South. This is Celebs coming today. Let me establish people I know. So, there you go, Cubby. Magic powers. Let me see who else I know in here. Let me do a little bit of maintenance on this channel, as I haven't gotten a chance. Kay. Thank you, Kay. Magic powers for Kay. There's helicopters all over this sound. There's nothing I can do about that, y'all. I've got to be the most sought after. It's ridiculous. Quantum Sensei. Hey, Mama. Okay, I think I'm fine. Okay. Yes. Okay, I think I'm almost done. Perfect. Okay, peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. Obviously, for everyone who's coming in, you know that they blocked me on my other channel. I just was able, for the first time in 2 weeks, to make a video. They've restricted a lot of my videos and have made it nearly impossible for me to share anything. As you know, we are in the 12th hour. Big up to everyone who joined in for the activation. It was amazing. I'm so grateful, and it was right before they were going to declare World War Z. Okay, so you know that we're in war times, and as I've always prepared you for, I told you right before the pole shift they would start World War III. Also, I let you know that they're kicking it off right before extraction. So distraction is a way to keep you from being extracted. So we're going to get into that. We're in the 12th hour. I hope y'all it's on and popping, okay? As many of you know, we are experiencing forms of socially engineered false flags, matrix narratives that are purposefully keeping you indoctrinated, chemicalized, censored, and a host of other things. As you know, I've been on since 2011, and you may not be seeing me as much anymore. I think, for some reason, I'm about to go to my bug out location here in the United States, and then I have my bug out location in Brazil. Okay, so as I've told you before, this is a time that if you haven't gotten to your bug out location, or you're bugging in, this is a time that you need to really take the time and the effort to get yourself prepared, as Red Dawn is upon us. I couldn't have prepared you more for this, but every one of you is absolutely in the mindset to know what's necessary. Okay, so yes, Nibiru is here. As many of you know, I am a representation of Nibiru, one of the NIBURIans. I told you my extraction team. I am collecting them so that we can exodus off of this planet, this holographic planetoid. Nibiru's here, and the extraction will begin in March. That's why they kicked off the war right before the extraction. Many of you may have been able to witness the outlining of some of the moons that come with Nibiru. We have a certain period of time that we have before the extraction of those of you that are Niburian. Now, it isn't the only extraction. Let me state this. There are other forms of galactic hybrids that are here that come from other types of planetoids, whether you're able to leave and go back to your to where you were, your celestial position, or some of you might be interterrestrials that are actually going through the portals that would take you into the inner earth again. However it is, whatever it shows up, I hope that everybody's prepared. As you see that they kicked off after they've ended Kukarachi. So now, just as soon as they lift on, remember, I mean, why delete my videos? Because I told you the truth. After they lift all mandates, it was going to be hell to pay. Okay? So that being said, they're making sure that after they lift mandates, they're going to have a war. Now, I'm going to give a lot of hope to our European family. You, if anyone right now, because it kicks off in your neck of the woods, especially in UK. UK, you're going to have, they block the sound. Can you not, guys, not hear me? Can you not hear me? Put a 13 if you can hear me. Can everyone hear me? Perfect. Okay. I have to be somewhere like in between. Like I said, I'm being stalked in every way since I got back to the United States. Usually I dip out of the country every once in a while, and I'm about to do so again. For y'all in the UK, especially the UK, I want you to be very, very vigilant, because as I said, you know, I'll sing you a song and this is how I feel. The London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair lady. Isn't that? I think it goes like that. Am I cutting off? Okay, so I think we discussed this about 4 years ago. I told you that they were making too many videos about nuclear weaponry going into the UK, movies about it. There was one movie, I think we discussed this, oh gosh. There was a discussion we had a couple of years ago about this. And I told you that's what I felt would be the kickoff. So I just want our people from the UK to be highly, the sound is fine. Okay. I want you to be highly vigilant in the UK because of what is coming. And let me share this with you. Willy Wonka and his League of Doom are all in bed with one another. Can I say this to you again? Let me explain to you. Willy Wonka and his League of Doom are all in bed together. They sleep together. They do business together. Their children are in bed together. They do business transactions together. They hide underground together. So please refrain from thinking that you're seeing two different sides go at one another. If that was the case, there wouldn't be warnings for certain people to leave and other people will stay. Do you understand? So it's all a distraction for you. If you believe anything, believe in the lie that's being orchestrated. You are being socially engineered, and you are apathetic, and you're in that state of mesmerizing, like being hypnotized by the lies and propaganda. It's all one hive, y'all. That it's all one hive. Why do you think as soon as all the mandates are lifted that you see they're kicking off the interesting World War Z? Okay? And do understand and understand, I gave you the warning about Tupac doing a remix. Now, some of you who have been Kukarachi Vita pre-1978 have gotten your inoculation for Tupac Shakur. So if you've gotten your Tupac Shakur inoculation, you're less likely to be as inundated with what Tupac's The Remix is coming out. Do know the Tupac The Remix is coming out because the wonderful, Olympics that just happened with many different nations attendees. A beautiful Mardi Gras that they have every year in beautiful Louisiana, New Orleans. The amazing Super Bowls event that people travel from all over in the United States. What a wonderful way to disseminate Tupac's remix album and to blame other countries for it. Let me explain something, y'all. There isn't anybody else disseminating Tupac's remix other than the United Fakes. And if anybody else is involved because they're complicit in the remix album, you must know that there is much going on, especially with all of these fake birds all over the place. Big up to Mahogany. Where's Mahogany? The fake birds that are recharging themselves on power lines. They're not birds, they're surveillance. I know you're going to say, oh, Florburn, you're going too far. Why do you think they sit on power lines? A lot of them are falling to the ground because they're robotoids. They're not actually birds dying. There are some birds that are dying, but those are robotoids. And because the energetic field is so erratic, and there's all kinds of electronic sonic weaponry and radiation in the sky, those machineries, those biobot so-called birds are dying because they're not dying. They're falling because they're being irradiated and their hardware is failing. I don't even know if we have any more natural birds anymore flying around. They're hanging around the power lines because they're being charged. Here comes more. The same helicopter has been before I even made this video, it's been surrounding me. So all I have to say is you need to be vigilant. If you're in your bug-in location, and do know that I will be beautifully showing you things once I get to my bug-out location. I'm on my way to my bug-out location. I will be giving you for those who are on Patreon, you will be getting to some beautiful ways to build things. I will be showing you, are there other brown off-gridders? Maybe there are. But I will be giving you a lot of wonderful ways that we build some of the off-grid tools and the things we'll be using off-grid. And if you want to get an opportunity to see those things, obviously you'll subscribe to Patreon. That won't begin until maybe in a week or two. So you'll be getting to see the process so that you and yourself can probably see that if you want. Some of you are already prepped up, so it's only for those who are novices and maybe want to watch people who are average like you, who are doing things like this. I'm not a subscriber. I don't have 50 million subscribers. I'm a regular person. I have children. I am a mother, okay? And I'm a woman of a certain age. And if that's in alignment with you and you feel like you can learn a couple of things from me, by all means, you can join. And also, I'm going to teach you how to electromagnetically protect yourself. That's one of the keys of knowing who the one of the things that I can show you that most haven't any knowledge about. So for those who are prepping in, and also for those who are doing the nano cleanse and the electromagnetic Zoom I'm doing, it will be next week. So if you want to register for that, by all means, you can email me. goddessdell at gmail.com. Some of you have been asking, and I don't want to do it one by one. Why? Is because it wouldn't make sense for me to keep doing it over and over again. I am in the process of getting everything together for the bug out location. And because of that, I haven't been allotted that kind of time. We're in the 12th hour. We're about to kick off the 13th. Extraction is upon us, and I want to be prepped and ready. And for those of you who are already on Patreon, you'll be able to witness how wonderful that is, and we can do those things together. Be careful about what you are saying on social media and what channels you're going to, obviously, because they're setting up agent provocateurs all over the place to catch people. It's like almost like a web of deceit, knowing that things that catch those who are in the awareness, knowing those people who are in alignment with higher field consciousness. They found ways to create these false channels of agent provocateurs that will lure you so that you can be nicely put on a list of the undesirables who will resist their total tyranny and reset. We're going through reset, y'all. The pole shift is just, and remember, I've just come to this awareness. So the pole shift I knew was always happening, but the pole shift is something that's purposefully done right at reset. It's to restart. Most people's consciousness will be pulled into the metaverse. That's why they're taking all your information online. They're taking, what's your grandmother's maiden name? What's your favorite car what's your first car? They're getting your data so that they can input your consciousness into a whole nother matrix, a more secure, maximum security matrix is the one that they want to put your consciousness into. Because the one that we're in right now is about to fall apart, as you see. Why do you think they're going so far? If they were really comfortable, y'all, we wouldn't hear a peep out of them. We wouldn't even know half the things that are happening because they would be so complicit and happy and comfortable. Because their perimeters is breaking apart, the firmament isn't stable anymore. That's why they always tell you, you can ascend at this time. You can ascend at this time because if you are higher in conscious awareness and you're vibrating at a higher velocity, you can permeate out and you can be extractable. But if you are so fearful, hateful, spiteful, heartbroken, victimized, you won't be able to be extracted, not by anyone or not even with your own macabre. Your macabre can violate at a high capacity. Okay, your macabre can is for some of you. Your macabre can be vibrating so fast and so fast a frequency that you can permeate out of the firmament. It's almost like when you watch a hummingbird. You ever see the beautiful hummingbirds? They're so beautiful. You ever watch them and you see their wings and their wings disappear because it's going so fast that your eyes are able to perceive it? That's how fast you need to vibrate. And when you vibrate to that degree, you're able to permeate through the firmament, which is loosening right now. It's becoming looser, loosey-goosey. It's plasma. It's all plasma. Be mindful of the property. All this war, World War Z, all of the cucarachis, all of the Tupac Sakurs that's coming out. This is all a distraction when you're about to be extractable. You're extractable, y'all. The rainbow is us. We are the rainbow covenant. We are the Ark of the Covenant. Inside of your DNA, you have the rainbow Ark of the Covenant, each one, if you allot for that accessibility. That's why I did the activation. There isn't anything outside of yourself that can be invited into your world unless you set out an invitation. The faster and higher you vibrate, the easier it is to permeate. And let the purge happen. Many of you are being retested on old pains or traumas to be evaluated within yourself. There isn't anybody evaluating you but yourself. It's all you. This whole matrix is you. Whatever you think, whatever you put out is what you get back. So if you know that, if you're being retested with old pain, traumas, it's because it's giving you an opportunity to release it. If something is resurfacing, rather than running from it, attacking it, or falling into victimhood, confront it, overcome it, and move on and above. We're in the 12th hour. There isn't any more real preparation other than you just doing you and making sure you stay at a good, healthy homeostasis. Make sure, and again, if you're joining with the nano cleanse, I want to say it's a seminar. I don't want to make, it's what I know. If you're joining the nano cleanse Zoom, we'll get back into that. For most of you already know already. For those of you who are new, who aren't aware of the nano cleanse that is necessary, all those nano fibers that are coming down from the chemtrails, which is a host of aluminum, barium, and other forms of nano fibers that is basically landing on everyone's skin and permeating in through. That's why everyone was magnetic. because it had nanofibers. Even myself, we had nanofibers inside of us. I had to clear, and I cleared all our people. Okay? That is a way, once you get those nanofibers with perfect lighting from your cell phones, with a certain vibratory frequency that's being emitting from these towers that we have all around us, these nanofibers come together. They're almost appear sentient, and they create nanotubes. Once the nanotubes get long enough and they're able to vibrate together and have enough of their posse, they're able to hijack your synapses, your temporal cortex. And then when they hijack into that, that's when you become part of the matrix. You're able to be manipulated through frequencies. You're able to be hijacked through forms of technology. And your thoughts aren't your thoughts anymore. They can basically input thoughts that you think are your own, and they can basically place them inside of your mind. So that's why you walk around sometimes, or your phone will react to you. You ever think of something and all of a sudden your phone is putting the advertisement on your phone? You didn't even say it out loud, but the phone is actually reacting to your synapses. Your neural synapses are connected to the high electric modules we use every day, which is your cell phones, your laptops, your tablets, your television, your radios. It's all interfacing with it. So that's why you'll think of something and all of a sudden the advertisement will show on your phone, because the algorithm is you. You're setting off the tone and the frequency that can be registered, and your phone picks it up. And now you got all this stuff on your phone that was in your head, and you're thinking to yourself, oh wow, this is great. Is it really great that they're able to take your input and place it into electronic field and use it as a form of manipulation? I'm just saying. Your cell phones can be powerful, and if you know how to use them with higher fields of consciousness, you can actually utilize it to benefit yourself. For the same way they use it to manipulate you, you can use your cell phones to manifest things. If you're able to focus your attention and you're able to clear yourself from nano that's manipulating you, you can manipulate your technology if you become more higher fielded in your consciousness. That being said, clear yourself from all metals. You're going to have to. You have to vibrate higher. And we'll get into that in the nano cleanse. We'll get into some of the things that I recommend, the things that have worked. There are all forms of things that are working. There's some amazing people online. I don't want to say that there aren't people online that are amazing, that are really trying, but a lot of them are being abused. They're being perpetually surveillanced, and some of them aren't even here with us anymore because they've been taken out. Let's get this, y'all. You have everything you're equipped with. We've been prepared for this all our lives. I need you to get ready. If you're doing your exodus, now is the time. Do your time now. Now is the time for you to begin your exodus. Prepare your family. Prepare the things that are necessary. To refrain from being complicit, because one day of complacency, remember, these clowns have planned this for eons. They do this every cycle. They know you. They know us. They've created many people. Actually, they've geoengineered most of humanity. So basically, we're their hardware. And some people have caps. Anyone who's highly religious, be careful. That's a form of social engineering, and actually that's part of the setup. You have a lot of amazing people that are highly religious still who are capped, but they're giving amazing intel. Be careful with them, because the fact that they're spewing out religion lets you know that they are Borg influenced. They are socially engineered and suffering from Stockholm syndrome. So though they have a certain awareness that seems high in intel, but they are still capped consciously. They are limited, because they're still giving credence to something outside of themselves. There isn't anything but you and I. It's just you. There isn't anything that's controlling you but you. But they manipulate it for you to give your power and give permission to all these entities and these corporations and all of these other fields. You every day you're giving permission for them to interface with you and manipulate you. Every time you pay a bill, which is be ill, you are giving them permission. Every time you engage in a contract with these bastards, you're giving them permission. Can you read all the text? Can you read all the jargon on all your contracts? When you get a cell phone contract, right? And you have this amazing contract with your cell phone, and do you read through all of the jargon? You can't. They make it so it's unlegible, unless you're a legal, you're cultivated in a legal arena. You wouldn't be able to read 90% of the things. They make that purposefully done. Don't tell people where you're going. Keep your business to yourself. If you tell people where you're going, you won't know. Let me explain something, y'all. You won't know where I'm going. I won't be sharing that information. All I say is, for me, I love you as a consciousness. You are reflections of me and me, you. It would be disheartening and disingenuous if I didn't extend my awareness to those who are similar in vibration. What is that? It's time. So for those of you who are leaving to Brazil, you know that right now, Brazil has, you know about the BRICS. So we talked about, let's get into that. We know about the BRICS versus NATO. Okay. So you do know there's two different conglomerates that look different. They're all in bed with one another, but there are maybe ones that you maybe want to be in because of where they're aligned in the new Earth scenario. You do know the BRICS take over in the new Earth. You do know that they are in home court advantage in the new cycle. Whether it's holographically or not, that's just what it is. Russia will win. That is just not my prediction. That is not my prediction. That's my higher knowing. They're going to win this. Stay out of their business. Unless you have a foot or a dog in this race, you need to mind your business. Drink your water and mind your business. Drink your water and mind your business. Mind your business. This isn't our fight. Europe has done a lot of dastardly things, colonizing this entire planetoid hologram. This is part of the residual. Remember, it's a 360-degree karmic cycle. What you do is what you get back. Everything is a ricochet. So it's all a cycle. It's all part of the cycle. It isn't really personal either. So when you do what you do, you get it right back. So if you colonize the entire world and have implemented forms of genocide, eugenics, and other forms of low field suppression and marginalization, it comes back. They know this. That's why they work with duality. Know it. Don't judge it. Just know it. Know when you go into anything extreme, there's going to be an equal opposite force that comes around. It's a 360-degree angle. If you know that, you have to know that that comes right back. So right now, Russia is implementing the same thing that happens every cycle, a reinstitution of the same karmic debt that was accrued during the last implementation of colonization planetary-wise. It is what it is. They win this one. I'm telling you, if I was a billionaire right now, I could put a bet and be a super duper billionaire, but it wouldn't matter because fiat is laced with low spells and low frequency. Where we're going, if you're ascended, if you're going outside of the perimeters of the firmament, if you are exiting into the new earth, Nibiru, there isn't an exchange. We wouldn't use low forms of murdering trees using their skins as a form of exchange. There is a karmic debt for that. How do you use the skins of the sentient types of beings as a currency? Every time we touch, and I've talked about it, the wealthiest people aren't touching cash. It's only the poorest people. Look at all your cashiers. Look at your bank tellers. They touch cash. The wealthiest people won't ever have to touch those spell-induced pieces of flesh of the trees. They get this. This is the 12th hour, y'all. Know that everything that you do right now, purposefully or unpurposefully or unconsciously and unconsciously, there is going to be a residual with it. Make sure you're playing in the lines of duality. Duality is collapsing, so are the polarities, but as it collapses, it brings both sides closer and closer together. Russia will win this war. Red Dawn is upon us. That isn't just what I think is what I know. UK, please be prepared. Once they told you that the Queen, Lizzie the Lizard, was diagnosed with cucarachas and she's disappeared, regardless if she's here or not, y'all, that was a signature and sign for what is coming to the UK. Once she descends and disappears, that lets you know that they are the first to be targeted. It's time for everyone to put down all of your extracurricular activities and focus on you having enough steam in your engine to ascend past this firmament and outside of the restraints and restrictions of this particular matrix. It's matrix. Big up to the Sea Star who is on Wonderful Psychic. I learned that from her. I love when I have an awareness. Matrix, it's mama tricks. So matrix is M-A, it's ma, and it's tricks. It's a trick of the mother, tricking the mother. We're going into Divine Field 2222. Big up to everyone who joined for the activation. I love that you decided to join, and I love that I was able to activate every single person. I'm grateful because it was necessary. The day after our activation is when they kicked off World War Z. Get your children ready. Mothers, fathers, if you've left your home and your children, you need to return. That is just my suggestion to you. Get over what she's done. Start to sit down as a family. Make some amends to the ones you love. Fathers, I need you to return to your home, to your mothers and your offspring. If you leave them, there is a consequence for you leaving them at this time to be vulnerable to what is coming. Return home to your children. And if you have multiple children and multiple women, you need to find a way to connect those families and make sure that you protect, because that's what you are here for. Our Sun Stars, you are here to protect us, and you're here to protect your children. And if you are failing in any of those arenas, you will have a consequence for that. If she is heinous, you chose that being. You can literally, because we know thoughts are things, you can rewire that system. This is a hologram, for God's sake. You can put out an imprint of peace, love, and forgiveness, and that will permeate into the relationship of your children's mother and into your ex-husbands or your baby's fathers. Place it out there. Take away the victimization. I know it hurts sometimes, but you're gonna have to do that. We need each other. You're gonna need some form of protection, mothers, if that is where you're going to be holding the fort within the realm of what's coming. Some of you are extending yourself out of here, so this isn't for you. I'm talking about the ones who have to stand the ground because they're not here for getting out of here. They're going to be here for the next cycle. So for that being said, what you do matters here. Children need protection on all ends. I'm not saying, listen, the strongest animals in the kingdom are females, and they protect both male and female animals. But right now, we aren't animals, and we've been socially indoctrinated, and the things that are coming are going to be far more extensively frightening. If you aren't prepared as a mother and you don't have that kind of strength, then pull in your father of your children and talk to him. And make sure you talk to his ancestors at night first. Talk to his ancestors, talk to your children's common ancestors, and make it so those ancestors make that conversation receptive and healing, and rock it out together, protecting your offspring and yourself. If that isn't permissible, then Sea Stars, I need you to stand strong, and I need you to get everything together. Do know we have sleeper cells all in the United States. I hope you know that. We have sleeper cells all in fakes, everywhere. So if you think that remember what Russia told the United States and everybody in NATO, what did they say? They said, If you act against us, knowing that they're going to, because remember, this is all pre-orchestrated. I'm just letting you know what they said, because it's all a script. This is all a Hollywood scene that they've orchestrated. It's all a play, but I'm just letting you know how it's gonna play out. They told NATO, if you get involved, we got something for you, basically, in all uncertain terms. They said, we got something for you. We got something for you if you get involved, knowing that NATO, by the very nature of them going into Ukraine and kicking off a deal for them, knowing that would happen. So once they kick off and do something, when you restrict their banks and their money, and you tell Russia, by giving sanctions against Russia, that we're going to sanction you and we're going to stop all those billions of dollars that you were going to lock those accounts that are connected to us and other nations. There are 30 countries in NATO. You think that Russia is not smart enough to know that? Remember, this is an orchestration. This is a play. I'm talking about the play, okay? You think they don't know? Most of them are dependent on the gas and resources that come from Russia. That's why they cut it off. You think that you won't know? They don't know how the rules of engagement are? They don't give a crap that you shut down their money. They planned this. Russians are probably the most astute in war games than any other country. Them, along with Iran and China. They're very self-motivated. They have self-restraint. They have self-mastery. Do you ever see the armies when they're marching? Just take a look, okay? They aren't raised with ho-hos. Their children have not been eating microwave food for 30 years. They aren't serving soy in all your crackers and donuts and hamburgers. They aren't giving you geo-engineered, feminizing. They don't have a whole population of men that are wanting to be women right now. Okay? Because they wanted to rear soldiers who could protect their country. Is this fear-mongering? If you feel this is fear-mongering, by all means, let me state this. If telling the truth about something, you can go to channels who will tell you love and light and sit there, and all through this, they will tell you love and light. That's probably a channel that you may be more in alignment with, and that's okay. If this is bothering you and making you fearful, then by all means, you probably should unsubscribe to me, because I'm probably not your cup of tea. It's okay though. Everybody has someone who they resonate with, and it may not be me. So, but rather than mentioning if I'm fear-mongering, just step out of the door and say, you know what, Flurboon is not my cup of tea. Let me step away. It's not that I hate her. It's just I don't like what she's sharing. And by all means, step out the door, okay? But knowing the truth, if that makes you fearful, then you're in alignment with what's coming. That's all. If what I share with you isn't empowering, knowing the truth, some people like to live in lies. They love to live in glass houses. They do. And that's okay. Because sometimes it's safer to have rosy glasses on than actually see things for what they are. And I'm telling you, I understand that this is a very disconcerting, orchestrated event, stage of, coordinated events that's, exposing itself to us. Okay? But I should always give, you know what? I used to always give a PSA. Let me give my PSA now. My name is Flurboon. I've been on YouTube from 2011. I'm not Love and Light. I'm not part of the Love and Light community. They would reject me. I'm not indoctrinated by any religious facet. I was raised as a loosey-goosey Catholic, but never really did anything other than love the beauty of seeing the beauty of the smelling the incense and looking at the beautiful fixtures we call churches. I haven't any indoctrination with religion. There isn't any man paying me or propagating me. I haven't been contracted by any governmental or Willy Wonka system. I'm on zero drugs. I do zero drugs or alcohol. I am totally sane, at least in this insane, as sane as you can be in this perimeter. I haven't been offered any money by any governmental system or any sort of person who wants to control my narrative. I am a triple Sag, so unfortunately and fortunately for you, you will always get the truth from me. I'm based in integrity, I love my children, and I'm here for the shenanigans. That is my PSA. If you could rock with that, especially as a woman, then by all means, you're more than welcome to stay in this room and engage in this conversation. But I am here to empower you. I'm here to tell you the truth of what I know, and here to share in the evolution of our enlightenment, our ascension. Okay. So that being said, so that way, if someone's coming in the room and they feel like this is out of alignment, that now you know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from New York originally, and I come from a French Caribbean background. Okay. So that being said, hopefully you know it is what it is. I won't ever, I rarely give you, I give you chasers sometimes, but I'm gonna give it to you raw. Okay, that's why my channel is the most attacked channel on YouTube, even though I don't have a lot of subscribers. I have to go to a backup channel because even a little bit of my conversation will cause problems. You know what I mean? Anyway, so let's get into conversation, okay? First thing is first. As I told you, you gotta clean up the body, the temple. And by doing so, it's just taking all the metals out of your body. Why? It's because we're in a highly kinetic electronic field that is being weaponized to hurt and harm the biological form that we are all choosing to be encased in, okay? It is bombarding us with constant forms of ELF waves and frequencies, okay? So you got to clean up the body. Some of you, like I said, you know, it's a host. I'll do the whole presentation again on the nano. This week it'll either be on Tuesday and Thursday. Email me if you want to be a part of that Zoom. We'll go over it again. We'll talk about that. That has to happen. As chunky as you may think I am, I'm very clean as far as metals. I eat very well, obviously. And some of you are suffering from forms of inflammation too. That's another thing. Because many of you know over the years, you kind of puff up or you become more dehydrated. And that's part of the ELF field constantly triggering your immune system to react. Some of us react by bloating up and getting inflammation. Others, it's by getting other forms of like neural apathy and other forms of radiation symptoms that come along with being too overwhelmed with these ELF waves. Okay. After that, I need some of you to start getting ready to prepare indoors. We talked about this. Let's get your houses ready, clean up everything, get everything, start clearing out your house. Remember, we have roughly a week before there is, and this is my prediction. I don't know this for certain. Certain things I'll tell you I know, certain things I may not know. I'm just giving a really educated guess. About 1 week is when they'll really, when United Fakes is going to declare their participation fully in World War Z. I feel like the play is playing out that Putin is going to go after what's Europe. But remember, y'all, I hope you know, they have over the last 30, 40 years, Russia has surrounded the United Fakes along with China. You do know that, right? So I've talked about this on my channel. Some of you are new, so you haven't gotten the world when we've discussed this. I told you about 3 years ago it was going to be Red Dawn. Some of you thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. As you see, it's upon us, okay? So do know we have sleeper cells, and also we're surrounded by Russia. We have Cuba, which has had a huge amount of military equipment sent to them over a year ago. We had a whole conversation about this in 2020 when all the ships were going over there. They're very long-term players in war. You know that, right? They plan years ahead of time, okay? While we're over here eating, estrogen and being feminized and worrying about being transsexual and promoting ourselves and saying we identify with animals or other genders, they're over there working long term to make sure that their plans and their agendas go fully unhatched, unchallenged. So they brought military stuff over to Cuba, okay? So that means that Cuba's right there. And you know how close Cuba is to the United States, right? It's on the East Coast, right? Okay? On the East Coast. Did you hear what I said? I told you years ago, my beautiful New Yorkers, because you know I'm from New York. I love my New Yorkers. I told you years ago, you need to bounce. We're at the last hour. Okay? So you got that. Venezuela, all that craziness in Venezuela, you thought it was anything else, but Russia and the United States fighting over that placement because Russia and China have taken over, as far as I know, allegedly, Venezuela. So you got Venezuela on the other side, and then you got Cuba. You do know that on the Canadian side, there were all those amazing, training over in Canada and over on Seattle with the Chinese. So if we have problems with the Chinese, according to the United States, why are you letting them train on our grounds? And I'm just saying, maybe I don't know anything. Maybe I'm just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But if you're blaming them for all the pandemic, why would you let them train and do mock trials on our terrain and also Canada? But I'm just a mom from Mount Vernon, New York. I don't know anything. Okay. And then you have outside of Alaska, which is Russia, right, located outside of there. Y'all remember, if you go back to the video, I didn't take that one down when I talk about I went over to the other side of Florida and I had a great conversation with all of these amazing mothers, Russian mothers with their babies, and their husbands weren't anywhere to be around. Remember what I told you? It's all documented. If you go back to the video, I forgot the video. Go back to the video. What did I say to you? I said these Russian women, they were so sweet. They were so well groomed. And they so unapologetically let me know that they were there and their husbands weren't around because they were all in training. There was a lot of Russian mothers over on the other side of Florida. Why would you have Russian women? That's why I tell you it's all orchestrated. Because if the United States is really at war with that country, why do they have all of their people and comfortably accommodating their wives and children here? It's a setup, y'all. There's sleeper cells all in the States. They're surrounding the entire country. Anybody who's anybody has left the country already. You do know this, right? Okay. A lot of your celebrities that said they got cucarachas, they all disappeared. Do you see them walking around other than Kanye West? Because he's mentally ill, because he lost his mother, and he has lost his mind because they have basically tried to configure and put all kinds of chemicals and ruin his brain. He's the only one walking around acting as if everything's all okay, or acting, you know what I mean? Other than him, most of the celebrities have gone. You won't see them. If you see them around supposedly walking, it's all green screen. They all left the country. And I told you, many of you, to do so, okay? I won't be here much longer, as you know. You already know my exodus is outside of the country. And do know that BRICS is Brazil, Russia. They said India, but I thought it was Iran. I think it's both. China and South Africa. You do know this, right? You do know that Bolsonaro had a meeting with Russia last week in Moscow, right before he kicked off war. You do know that Brazil is the most resourceful South American country with the most resources, and Bolsonaro is being highly, highly attacked right now before they go into election time. You do know that he is against cucaracha shots, right? You do know that they aren't getting, the president of Russia was not giving his citizens mRNA cucaracha shots. They had their own version of inoculation. So with China. They weren't giving their people inoculations with DNA, RNA inserts. You do know that, right? If you didn't know, you know. That's a fact. You can look it up. I didn't make that up. Okay? While they're making sure that they intimidate as many people as possible, because remember, if you have nano in you, and you're taking in a host of graphene from the cucaracha kill shot that they are disseminating over the entirety of this United States and the entire planet. You do know that metal is highly kinetic, and if you put any sort of frequency, it will literally shut down the heart, or it can turn off the body. It can cause a host of health issues. Basically, they can basically get rid of a whole population of people and have the least amount of resistance. Not enough of you were complicit in the Kukarachi shot. Not enough of you took it. Listen, they'll tell you that a whole bunch of people took it. I'm letting you know that's a lie. They hope that most of you would be fearmonger. They hope that most of you would fall for the okey-doke. But some of you resistant people actually had higher fields of consciousness and knew, like, listen, I don't know what this is, but I don't know what it's not. All your so-called leaders online and the false conscious community, they've all been paid off by Willy Wonka. Look at people who got fat checks last year for promoting all kinds of political parties, and they got $1 million checks for being all political, and now they're acting like straight a-holes online because that's who they really were. If you can be bought by Willy Wonka, if you can be paid off by Willy Wonka, you are an agent. No one sits online and says, hey, I get shout outs from the CIA. Anybody who's saying that online who got $1 million check is an agent, and always was placed in our community as an agent. They knew what would happen, y'all. They preset this. The communities that would start, all the love and light communities, all the spirituality communities, all of the so-called conscious brown communities, they were all started by the cats in array. Controlled opposition, everybody. It's a setup. So they can control your narrative. They can follow who you are. They can make sure that you are falling in alignment. You know just enough to make you feel like you are empowered, but know very little about the agenda that they're about to disseminate, as we've seen. If you are higher consciousness, if you're not being inundated by constant elf waves because you aren't inundated with metals, your brain would already pick up your consciousness will pick it up. Remember, you aren't the body. You are a soul encased in the body, if you have a soul. The whole YouTube platform was a setup. And many of you know, like when I first came on YouTube, it was 2011. I loved YouTube because it was a place where we felt comfortable, but that was a setup, y'all. They wanted us to feel comfortable. They wanted us to feel like we had a platform that was speaking to what our goals or our dreams were, what we wanted to let everyone know. They knew it was a setup. It was created by all the cats in array. FB, created by Cats in Array. Instagram, Cats in Array. They created all social media. It's the World Wide Web. I told you, the Anacra told me that. It's a setup. It's all a setup. But now that you know better, you can do better. They need your permission. They need you to give away your free will to them still. Disallow from signing any contractual agreements with these nutty buddies. Refrain from engaging sexually or otherwise with any agent provocateur smiths. If you got handlers in your house, most likely you are already in the agenda. The agenda was to feminize as many men as possible so that women and children wouldn't be protected. How do I know it worked? Because of how many women and children have been kidnapped, especially in the melanated community. If you are a man and you have watched and you haven't had any blink of an eye of as many melanated children and women being kidnapped and disappearing for a host of reasons, whether it's harvesting their organs, utilizing them for sex, to make more babies, whatever they're doing, you have been a participant in your complicity for allowing women to be taken and children be taken without you even blinking an eye. If you have left your women and children at home unprotected, you are a product of social engineering, and you are participating in their agenda. If you are a man, especially a melanated man, and you are sleeping with another man and you find women to be disgusting, or you have heinous conversations about them, or you feel the yoni is disgusting, you are a product of social engineering and chemical castrating of the males. You are a product of the matrix agenda. You are participating and you are doing well at it. If you are engaging with people that are the opposite of everything that you've been reared or you've been told that you are less because you look differently and you don't look like the others that have higher forms of wealth in the matrix, and you decided to partner with someone else because you hated yourself and you wanted to uplift your offspring by lightening up their skin or making them have access to other forms of wealth or access other forms of socialization, you are participating and you have been socially engineered, and you are part of the agenda. We've all, listen, I'm not talking, we're all participants. You notice, if you are without a husband at home and you have children and you are home taking care of your offspring without a man in the house that is the father of those children, you are part of the social engineering. It is part of the agenda. I'm a participant in that. We are all participants in their agenda, and most of us are upholding to the agenda and practicing unbeknown to ourselves. If you know this, you can change it. Because if you notice the things I shared with you, those are things that can absolutely be reversed. Even some of your social sexual dispositions that have been socially engineered in you and chemicalized in you. They did studies that you don't know about with men, taking them in isolated situations and taking all the gay men, taking them in an isolated situation, taking out soy out of their bodies and giving them a host of healthy protein, and also giving them other forms of food that was non-estrogen or non-feminizing. And those men started to be attracted to women. Stop being so politically correct and saying, oh, we want to be inclusive. That is a setup, y'all, so that you would accept all these loosey-goosey sexual dispositions that were purposefully engineered and purposefully created to destroy our bonds as men and women together, and to make some of us more vulnerable to inception and attack and victimization, because there wouldn't be any healthy males around. Any healthy alphas that were there arrested and put into jails and perverted, because most of those males are now engaged in sexual activity with other males. Then if they release them, they have those propensities. Any of the alpha males that were left out were marginalized and neutralized through chemicalization called soy or BPA and a host of other chemicals that we don't even know about. Women, stop supporting these so-called mentally ill men that think that they're women. That's a form. They've been victimized. They should be able to sue Willy Wonka for making them have that disposition. And I'm talking to all of you men that feel that you're women, that you feel like you identify as women. You should sue Willy Wonka for what they did to you. You are a victim of chemical castration. They have destroyed your manhood. You should sue them. That is not something to relish in, and is maybe something that maybe you can't necessarily control now, but you are a victim. And I see you as that. I wouldn't call a cancer patient an enemy. You are a victim. Our young men have been victimized, y'all. Stop encouraging them to behave in ways that is against their nature. A man wanting to be with a man with another man is against his nature. It's wrong. Why don't you teach your men by having anal sex constantly? His rear end will be ripped and he won't be able to do anything but defecate on himself unless he wears a diaper, a pad, or gets surgery. Stop encouraging it, young sea stars. I see some of you sitting there and encouraging it. It isn't right. You need to protect them. You need to be honest with them. And you need to make sure, because they are victims of a chemical castration, they should come together, and you should have a mass lawsuit against Willy Wonka for the abuse and genocide and eugenics programming that they have done to the boys in this state, in this country. That isn't a natural propensity, not to the degree that you're seeing it propagandaed, and not to the degree that you're seeing it displayed. That was purposefully done, sea stars. You can love your family member, but you can also know that they have been abused and they've been hurt. Anyway, I digressed. I apologize. I'm sorry. It's time for us to get it together. This is fourth and goal. It's the 12th hour. It's either you in or you out. Some of you may not even want to deal with this conversation because it might put too much responsibility, and you would have to be more accountable for your behavior and your actions. You would have to be accountable for the choices you make toward yourself and towards people you love and others outside of yourself. If you want your children to have an amazing life after this stage of events, you are going to have to step up to the plate as parents, as aunties, as abuelas, and you are going to have to be the change you want those babies to see in the world. The attack is on all levels, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Nibiru is here. It is extracting those who are from Nibiru. So I say big up to our NIBURIans. That's what I represent. Those are from the Mayan and Andromedans, and those from the Anunnaki, that generically it's called the Anunnaki. They're being extracted. We will be leaving on Nibiru when it leaves. There's only a certain period of time that Nibiru will be here. Once they do reset, if you want to see a good movie, kind of speaking to that, it's kind of like The Loop. The movie's called Endless. It will bother you a little bit. Let me give you a warning. Moonfall is also another one I'll recommend. We'll get into that also. But if you want to do the nano cleanse and learn about the nano cleanse, you can register through email for one Zoom. I'm not doing it again. I know so many people ask me. I've done it for so long, and some of you are newer to me. I will only do it one time on Zoom. If you want to register for it, I'm going to do it next week, and that's it. I can't do any more because I have to do things to prepare for my family and prepare for my team and prepare for my famille. Okay? Next week will be the Zoom nano cleanse meeting. If you email me, I'll give the information. I won't do it here. You can email me and do that. Also, what was I saying? For those who are preparing for the Exodus. Did I just say that, or I just lost my train of thought? I'm either going to do the Zoom on Tuesday or Thursday. I'm going to ask, I think Thursday would be better. Or Tuesday. Tuesday might be best. I think Tuesday or Thursday. I'll figure it out. You email me, I'll have my decision made a little later. So either Tuesday or Thursday. Thursday might be better for some of you. Okay, my email is goddessdell. So it's G as in Gary, H as in Harry, A as in Apple, D as in dog, another D as in dog, E as in elephant, S as in Sam, another S as in Sam, D as in dog, E as in elephant, L as in Larry, another L as in Larry at gmail.com. Should be in my description. Okay. Oh, Moonfall. Thank you. Thank you. I lost my train of thought. There's 2 movies I would like you to see. This is homework assignment for those in the group. 2 movies to see is Endless. Now, let me give you a warning. If I send you somewhere where I feel there's some sort of like field of, it kind of puts something, it messes with your head. Endless is about the loops. I want you to see it because this is what happens. Before reset, we're told we have to be out of here before reset. Once you're reset, if you're caught in, you're going to be caught up in the metaverse. If you watch Endless, you will see what I mean. It's hard for you to understand unless you saw it itself. They went into a place where it was looping, where they perpetually keep going over and over in cycles. It's a program, y'all. That's what we're in. We're in a loop. When it goes through reset, what you call Ascension, it's the time you can leave. Not all of us are from the reset. The Willy Wonkas, all of those demons here, all those low-field child trafficking sexual demons, most of them are already caught in the reset. They live here. They aren't able to leave. They're caught like the people in that Reset movie, in the Endless movie. They're caught in the loop. So what they do is they want to feed off of you, but they also want to make sure you're caught in the loop too. So they'll give you, and they can't leave. That's why they make this joint like a dream for them. That's why they're all rich in here. That's why they're all enjoying the amenities. That's why they're living their best life. That's why they don't have to hold to any sort of like real forms of higher consciousness or behave less savage, because they're in the loop. So they're stuck here. Many of you know that already. They're stuck here, but you aren't. So there is a time frame when you're allotted to leave, but they do several different distractions before you leave. Because if you are caught up before the ascension, before you can leave the firmament, you will be caught in the loop. That's why they do what they do. They don't have to uphold to any karmic residue. They don't care. They're sociopaths. They've been too caught up in the loop. After you're in the loop like Groundhog Day 50 million times, why would you do anything different? Why would you after being in a loop 50 times, you become perverted? You're like, why am I even a good person? They start doing deviant things because they're caught in a loop. They aren't able to leave, y'all. You can. Watch Endless. Another good movie is Moonfall. Now be careful because the moon is being represented. The moon is a Nibiru in this movie. That's all I'll say. I don't want to give you I don't want to ruin the movie for you. But when they give it to you as the moon, remember, I perceive where we are in this hologram as being on the dark. This is the dark side of the moon we're living in. It's a hologram. When you watch the movie, what they call as the moon is Nibiru. They're projecting. They're inverting. That's Nibiru. So the moon isn't the moon in the movie. It's called Moonfall. It's called Moonfall. We just went to the movie theater to see it. Let me tell you, it's one of the most excellent movies I've ever seen in a long time. It tells you everything. Tells you everything. But remember, you have to have a consciousness, subconsciousness to know that it's a trick of words and perceptions. The moon isn't the moon. It is a Nibiru. But they're making it seem like the moon is coming here. Okay? Wonderful. I've never seen a movie like they're telling you. Remember, that's part of the programming too. They have to tell you what happens before it happens. So you'll think it's art, you'll think it's science fiction. It's really them detailing what's happening so that they can say that they told you. Okay? Just like in The Loop, in The Endless. Wonderful movie. So I want you to all prepare for what's happening. This is all a stage. It is literally a holographic stage of actors. They have pre-planned World War Z. Red Dawn is upon you. Remember, I told you I was in Florida, a whole bunch of Russian wives, comfortable with their children. They knew. What do you think Willy Wonka didn't know they were in the country? So the same people who know that I'm on YouTube, who could cut off my YouTube 4 minutes into my conversation, don't know that there's Russian people living in their country that they've allowed to come in, living comfortably while their husbands are being trained? No, because it's a setup. These are sleeper cells. That's why I say be prepared and chill out until it occurs. Mind your business. This is a hologram. Number one, if you're higher in consciousness, you will have the least amount of inception because it's a collective. Because it's a collective form of manifestation. It can still touch you, but it won't impede on you if you're higher field in consciousness and awareness. Meaning that if your mind is higher and knowing this is a hologram, even though the collective, more people than not, are perpetually manifesting this reality, it won't impede on you. So maybe something happens next door, but it doesn't happen to you. It just, oddly enough, it passes by you, or a storm comes and it comes through town, but your house is fine. You ever see that? That's because your consciousness is in alignment with it. Make sure you aren't sleeping with the enemy. Anyone who's gotten the Kukarachi kill shot is tethered security prism system. Okay? This one is collapsing. They do it every time, but they got to put the other consciousness, those who aren't elevated, who are going back into reset, going back into another form of matrix, and on the dark side of the moon, in the new matrix system, which is the metaverse. Okay, they're taking that. They took the Kukarachi shot. Some may not. Now, let me state this: there are some anomalies in that. I don't want to make it seem like it's everything. There's some anomalies in that. Some anomalies in that. Some people, maybe their bodies rejected the Kukarachi shot. It's possible. Anything's possible. Okay? Anything's possible. So some people may have taken a Kukarachi shot for some reason. Their bodies filtered it out. Maybe they only took one shot. A host of things. I don't know. There's possibilities. I saw someone who had Kukarachi shot on Nibiru. Maybe they didn't get the shot. I don't know. So I'm just saying, but those who truly got the kill shot, the one that is tethering them to the metaverse, they're here to they will go back into the matrix after reset. They're going to go through the cycle again until they reach this point. Listen, it's not if you make it, it's when you make it. Okay, some of us were in other cycles where we didn't necessarily make it through the firmament, and then we go back through another cycle, and then we come to this point again. All right, so y'all, I gotta go. It's getting dark. I hope that this was helpful for those who want the nano cleanse, and some who are going to get some information. I will do the. Hold on. Okay. I will do the Zoom either Tuesday or Thursday. Once you email me, I'll give you the information, and then I'll do the Zoom. That'll be the last Zoom I do based on that. My Zoomies already know, so I don't have to. We already did the nano cleanse like 2 years ago. I love you, Zoomies. You did an amazing job. They cleared themselves. I love it. You know, so we did it. They did it 2 years. It's been 2 years already. Wow, almost 2 years, right? It's 2 years. They did it already. I will prepare you to get you nano cleanse, and I know this definitively. They got Agent Smiths coming over here, so I gotta go. So I wish everybody well. Email me. You have my email. If someone can share my email again. I will be coming on this channel if you subscribe to this channel. Like I said, the other channel is heavily suppressed. I'm being monitored. I will be outside in my new location soon, my bug out location. And also for those who join Patreon, you get a chance. We're gonna be doing some building and doing some off-grid things that'll be amazing together. So I wish everybody well. 1 week, I think you have to try to be really as prepared as you can for this, for the shenanigans, okay? I think 1 week is enough before it comes here fully, before they actually, you know, what does Alicia call the Willy Wonka head over here? Oh, she calls them sniff and snort. Before sniff and snort, make the declaration that they're about to make. Okay, so they're about to make the declaration. Okay, so you know that. Just be prepared. And like I said, I'll talk to some of you on Zoom. You can ask me questions. It'll be more personable. Make sure you email me, and we'll have that squared away. And I'm gonna go, y'all. I hope it was helpful. I'm sorry I'm so fast-winded. I wanted to come to you and let you know everything is all good in the hood. I appreciate your support. It's gonna be bath salt season. Yeah, we'll get into that. And like I said, take care of the babies and daddies. If you've left your home with your children, it's just my suggestion. You don't have to listen to me. Go home. Go home to your babies, because they're gonna need you. You wouldn't want your offspring to be afraid, because what's coming might make them frightened. Okay, so I'll talk to you later, y'all. Have an amazing day, and I will be back on this backup channel. I guess you should subscribe to it if you can. I don't even know if you can, but subscribe to this channel. I will only be making videos here. They've infiltrated my entire last video, my other channel, and I'll probably wait to make videos on that channel a little later. But I will talk to you. Take care and peace.